Hello, this is Steve, your YouTube English teacher, and today we are doing some speaking. We're going to be thinking about how to make part 2 interesting with a very specific activity that I've got for you, and as always, some useful phrases that you can use in your B2-C1 Cambridge speaking exams. So the point of today's class is we're talking about comparing the photos, practicing how to do this, learning some phrases. And of course, the only way to practice your speaking is by putting yourself in that situation, timing yourself for 1 minute, trying to express those ideas. So let's get on with it with a sample activity. The whole point of today's class is that we are going to be making it a bit more personal. Instead of random photos of Getty images, people walking in the city and so on. In this example, you have some photos of me, your teacher, and of course, hopefully you are a bit interested in the life of the teacher. I remember being a student and everyone always paid a bit more attention in class when the teacher would tell a personal story about their life and their family and their holidays and so on. It makes it a bit more interesting because, a big motivation of being in class is spending time with the person teaching you. And they can't take that away from us with AI, can they? There's always going to be that human connection. So what you've got here is 3 photos of me, or in one case, my partner, when we're on different trips and places with animals. And for B2, you can just focus on 2 of the photos. You just ignore one. For C1, it's the same, but you have to choose 2 of the photos. And for B2, only answer the first question. For C1, answer both questions. Let's do one example together, just because I'm only going to do one and then you can do the rest. I'll put my timer on and I'm going to try and do it in the C1 version, answering the questions. I haven't prepared this, so it might not be perfect. C1, 60 seconds. Compare the photos, compare 2 of the photos, say how they might be enjoying the company of the animals and what inconveniences they might face. Well, I would say that to take your cat in the backpack would be quite fun because cats don't normally do that, and it's nice for the cat to get outside and see a new place, so you could enjoy that. The inconvenience is obviously pretty clear. Cats don't normally like going on walks. I guess the cat has to be quite used to going in a backpack, and then she might enjoy it. On the other hand, visiting like a farm where you can feed the animals, well, you're going to enjoy that because you don't normally get to see these animals, and maybe you can feel a bit closer to the animal system, the food system that we have, and then you feel a bit better about where your food comes from and so on. And of course, these animals are very cute. Look at their little sheep faces. The inconveniences of doing this, I guess it could be a bit dirty going to visit a farm, but really it's just a great day out. So both photos show really nice times with animals for me. And there we go, 1 minute. Hopefully you can do something similar. If you want to talk about going to the beach with your dog instead, then maybe you make it a bit different. But let me just speak for a minute, look, so you can get to know me a bit. This was a little trip with the cat and 1 or 2 dogs. I don't remember how many dogs we took to a little reservoir in the south of Spain where we stayed for a few days and went walking and swimming in the reservoir. The cat was very good. She goes on her leash and she loves it. Then the other one, taking the dog, or again, probably dogs, to the beach in, I think that's the south of Spain as well, since we live there. And this was a very good dog that we had for a few years. And she was a bit naughty at the beach. She would run away a lot and I would have to run after her. But then she was also a very loyal dog and I miss her a lot. And then the last one, this is not Spain. This is in the UK at a park farm, the kind of farm you can visit and feed the animals and things that I used to go to when I was a kid. And then I went back there a few summers ago in one of my rare trips to the UK. And it was really nice. And it was a nice day out to take a trip down memory lane. All right, so that's the personal side out of the way and the sample answer out of the way. For each little activity I give you, I'm also going to give you some use of English. They're all going to be use of English part 2. You need to complete these sentences with 1 word. And of course, I'm giving you useful phrases for speaking part 2, the photos in B2 or C1. So have a look at it. What goes in these gaps? What are the useful phrases? Of course, you can introduce your answer by saying both of these photos and then saying the theme. And then you can start comparing them. not as much hard work as much hard work as difficult as, your as comparison. Let's do some more of these without me rambling on for 60 seconds each time. The idea now is that you can pause the video and record yourself for 60 seconds and answer these questions. Compare two of the photos and say how the setting might influence his running and how he might be feeling. And here I am running in very different circumstances. Some very nice, very illustrative different runs. One on holiday in Portugal where I'm just going for a little easy run. One that's a 10k race through the city where I was trying to run very fast. I think that's my fastest ever 10k if you want to hear about my 10k time. And a marathon, which is a different kind of running, long, slow, through the countryside. In this case, Vega, from my understanding of Spanish, is like the countryside in the outskirts, the mountains around Granada, which was a difficult marathon. Compare the photos, answer the question, record yourself, express yourself, and then complete these blanks for some useful phrases. And we say similar to, and we're comparing, so you will be more tired in a marathon than in a 10k in general. Let's do another one. Here we have me and the boy in the garden where he loves to be. Compare two of the photos and say what the benefits of being in the garden might be for these two people and how hard their tasks might be. And we can see one is doing some sort of landscaping work where we put stones down in our front garden because here in the south of Spain, it's difficult to maintain a lawn. So we put some stones down instead. And of course, the boy helped me. One where we're taking apart a planter because it was in the way of his bike path. And one where he's watering the plants. There we go. Easy. Your vocab's good. Pause the video. Answer the question. Keep expressing yourself. Hopefully you find it interesting. And here are some possible expressions you could be using when you're answering the question. Remember, really important to answer the question for B2 and C1. So a useful phrase for that is with regard to the question, or in regard to the question is also possible. And in comparison, because you're comparing the photos, and the phrase is in comparison, a good phrase that you need to know. Next set of photos, we have the grandparents who hopefully don't mind being in this video that 50 people are going to see. Compare two of the photos. What can the grandparents teach the boy? What might the boy be enjoying about being with them? What might the boy be enjoying about? That makes sense, doesn't it? Pause the video, answer the photos, playing board games, going shopping, playing with toys. I think in English he is playing with Play-Doh. Dough as in the thing that you use to make bread, and Play-Doh is the material that kids like to play with. And you could give some expressions like this. They have things in common. And here we're making a nice comparison. Board games are fun, although board games are fun, or we could say while or whereas board games are fun. And our final set of photos, I've given you 5 original sets of photos, 5 original exams in this short video. Come on, what more do you want? We can see different types of holidays with me and my partner swimming in a waterfall for many years ago. This was so long ago. What times they were. One where the boy is in a city. That city was Bordeaux in France, where we went a few summers ago for a little, city break. And one where he's by a pool, which could be a type of holiday. So pause the video, compare, answer questions. You get the idea by now. Here are your phrases, typical comparison phrases, but you have to know them. You have to get these right because they sound bad if you get them wrong. And of course, we say, on the one hand, you enjoy spending time by the pool. On the one hand, on the other hand, you can visit an interesting city at any time to answer the question. And remember, on the one hand, on the other hand, O-T-O-H, O-T-O-H. Remember O-T-O-H, so you're not saying in or any other prepositions on the one hand. Right, I hope that was useful. Only thing that remains to do is for you to do it yourself. Find your own photos like this on a theme. Think about the questions. Think about how you can express good answers to these questions and therefore improve your exam ability. Thank you. Goodbye.